Go follow me on Twitter. That way you can help me get verified. Because we got Chase Sr. here, one of our new hires at Chat Sports, who's verified, even though I have like 5x the Twitter followers. It makes no sense. But I need more. So go follow me on Twitter right now at WhatGoingDowney. A super chat here from Ben Garrett, breaking the rules so I can talk about safeties here. Could the Cowboys trade for one? Maybe Taylor Rapp. I don't mind the name you mentioned there. They used Jordan Fuller over Rapp a lot more than I thought. They also lost John Johnson, so I don't know if Rapp is the best name. I would love it if the Cowboys went out and traded for a safety, a good one, because you guys know how I feel about the safety position. At this point for this year, I just assume it's not going to happen. But we can try to speak things into existence anyway. So name a safety that you guys want to add via the free agency market, like a Trey Boston or I think flunked medically Malik Hooker, or the trade market, if you want to go that route, like a Jesse Bates, not going to happen, but a Taylor Rapp, a Nasir Adderley. Get your votes in the comments section. From ZEEK Prescott, I'm hearing rookie Simi Fehoko will be our new Beasley. He's not a slot guy. Cole Beasley and Simi Fehoko, in terms of like their body types, are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. If anything, I think Fehoko could be your Michael Gallup replacement in that vertical X-receiver type of role. If you get him some slot reps, cool. I think that's a good idea to get him involved there because he wasn't involved that much in Stanford, but he's not built to be, it's not his play style at all to be your new Cole Beasley. From Tristen Brown, another super chat. What do you predict Michael Gallup's contract will be? It's a great question. If he hits the open market, and if he's in franchise tag or extended at maybe a cheaper rate, because if you pay guys now, you get them cheaper in the end, I could see him coming in a little bit south of the Kenny Golladay deal. Now remember, the salary cap is going to explode. I think you'll see the numbers jump up this year, and then next year, just skyrocket as the cap goes up higher and higher. So I think maybe 14 on the low end if he plays well, to 17 on the high end is probably around what his contract will end up looking like. From Andres Gonzalez, is Gregory this year's Quinn/Alden Smith in terms of production? Well, those are very different production types. Alden Smith was great for 3 games and then silent. Robert Quinn was really good in his 1 year. I think ideally, yes, it's a Robert Quinn type of production year out of Randy Gregory. I think 6.5 sacks, which is kind of splitting the difference between Quinn and Smith there, is about right. And we will see if that ends up happening, but I feel pretty good right now about Randy Gregory. From Emil Pettersson, how do you feel about the Josh Ball pick now? I mean, my thoughts haven't changed. Like, there's nothing I can do at this point. Obviously, I've made my thoughts very well clear. There's nothing else that I can do or say at this point. Like, I hope he's going to be a different and better person going forward, obviously. But there's nothing that has happened that would make me feel better about that pick, right? Like, it had nothing to do with the player, it had nothing to do with the person in the end. From Rashard Lee, what will be a good Cowboys season? Making the playoffs. Anything less than that, at least for me, barring a bunch of injuries, which would also be a disappointment, but in the end, would be a disappointing and a not good season. From Alan Williams, who will be the starter for the Cowboys defensive line? I know Lawrence and Gregory at defensive end. I like Bahana over Tristan Hill. In terms of, like, if Bahana impresses, as Fatties only lives, baby, I could see him being like your first down nose guard, that type of role. I think you'll see Brent Urban as like a defensive end DT hybrid get some starts there in the end. I think you'll see Neville Gallimore be involved. I think you'll see that front be a little bit more multiple this year in terms of who's standing up, how many defensive tackles versus defensive ends are out there. I think your starter snaps in the end, DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory. I think I'd go Brent Urban in there because I'm kind of hyped on him. And then some combination of Tristan Hill, Osa Odigizua, And I'd throw Neville Gallimore in there as well, and Quinn Bahana's more of a early down player only. From Dale Ellis, why not trade Anthony Brown and go sign Richard Sherman? This is really the only way in which, barring injury, you end up adding someone like a Richard Sherman, who I don't think the Cowboys and Sherman have that much mutual interest in, at least as of right now. There is a numbers game, folks, at the cornerback position. Diggs, Brown, Joseph, Lewis, Wright, maybe Reggie Robinson, and CJ Goodwin are all going to make this team. That's 7 guys. So even if you were to cut Robinson, which helps you short-term, not long-term, of course, you got to find a spot to play Sherman. If Kelvin Joseph is going to start, which maybe he does, maybe he does not, there's no room for Sherman to be on the team because he's not going to want to be a backup this year. So if Joseph comes along slowly, and if you move an Anthony Brown guy, then maybe Richard Sherman starts to make sense. So get your votes in. I kind of made my thoughts, I think, pretty clear there. What do you want to do with Richard Sherman? Do you want to sign him? Type Y for yes or type an N for no. Now, if you guys haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. The link is right there below. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. Again, we got daily videos for you guys on everything around America's team. So hit that big red button and subscribe. From Serge Rome, Tom, what are your thoughts on Nick Ralston, the fullback? I will never lie to you guys. I had no idea who he was when he got drafted or got signed as a UDFA. He was more of a tight end, though, at Louisiana after I checked him out a little bit there. We'll see if he makes the team. I think that's a bit of a long shot right now. From third, 1-2, should Brent Urban start to stop the run? I kind of lean towards yes. Depending on what the front looks like in base package, I think in the end is going to be 2 edge rushers, one kind of a hybrid linebacker edge rusher role, which is what Dan Quinn's done before, and kind of 3 more run stoppers. I do think Brent Urban is more of your Tyrone Crawford replacement. So on rundowns, yes, I do want Brent Urban out there. From ZEEK Prescott, do you think we'll be able to stop Devonta Smith? I hope so. He's a very, very good football player, obviously. But look, we knew that the Eagles or Giants were going to get him. The Cowboys chose to let the Eagles get him as opposed to New York in the end, and they got to pick as a partial result there. So, yeah, I am a bit worried about Devonta Smith. But you know what? To really answer this question, I think you can stop Jalen Hurts, and that's what gives me the most confidence there to win the NFC East. Now, if we don't get to your question, I'm sorry, but there are like 600 people watching live right now, and we can't get to every single question. That is why my Twitter DMs are open. Sometimes I regret it, but it's worth it in the end. So if you have questions we don't get to, hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowning. From Hayden Miller, is RG3 possible? Also, trade Vander Esch to get something in return. Love the show. Thank you, my friend. RG3 is a maybe. I don't think that in the end that's really going to be all that great of a option because in reality, I just don't think that RG3 is that great of a quarterback. But I'd bring him in and have him compete. As for Vander Esch, I'm open to it. Just depends on, in the end, what you get back. From Chris Romero, who will be your most underrated impact player this year? It's a great question, Chris, and we will do an entire video on that. We will do some underrated players on the Dallas Cowboys report. So before I give my answer, I want to hear from you guys. Who do you believe is the most underrated Dallas Cowboys player? Get your votes in the comments section. From Nick McClain, Cowboys trade Jaylon Smith to the Patriots for Stephon Gilmore. Straight up, who says no? Nick, I hate to do it to you, my friend, but we got to do it. Reset the meter, producer Brett. It has been 0 days since our last nonsense. Why on earth would the Patriots take a linebacker, which they don't need, who is expensive and not very good, for one of the best corners in the NFL? Now, Nick, I'm going to assume that you are trolling, but just in case you're not, we had to reset the nonsense meter on that one. Reginald Dwight, thoughts on Geno Smith as the team's backup quarterback, same offensive style as Dak. He's with Seattle. So, no, he's not going to come in to be the backup quarterback because Seattle's not going to trade him because they got nobody else good. And, well, it's a backup anyway. Folks, the Cowboys Report is live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. So if you missed part of the show, well, make sure you're subscribed. That way you don't miss out next time. Hit that big red button and join us for the live shows and daily videos as well.